Pledge. Let us say right here with us.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Legislator Adjournment.
Present.
Legislator Woolman.
Present.
Chairman Young.
Present. Item number 3 is the acceptance of the Personnel Committee meeting minutes of February 13th, 2025. I'll make a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Item number 4 is an FYI. It's a budgetary transfer from the Bureau of Emergency Services. It's temporary administrative staff. It's an FYI. Is anyone here from the Bureau? I don't see anybody. Mr. Eldridge, do you have to speak to this?
Yeah. There's likely to be 2 retirements coming up in the year, and they want to be able to have money to bring some next people to replace this that have a short time to train.
Okay, and there's no fiscal impact.
Correct.
Thank you. Item number 5 is the approval Sheriff's Office. The correction. No, he said it was an FYI.
Am I right?
This is a personnel meeting.
No, this is.
Sorry?
Personnel. No, you're right.
You're right, Paul.
Sorry. Okay.
Item number 5 is the approval of Sheriff's Office Corrections Facility Fund Transfer. It's a request to transfer funds to cover overtime costs incurred during February of 2025. You can see we have our sheriff and undersheriff here. You can explain exactly what we're going to do.
Good evening. We currently have 11 vacancies in the correctional division, 9 vacant positions, 1 individual out on 207C, and another out on family medical, should be returned in about 5 weeks. This money comes from salary, so there's no fiscal impact. We just want to transfer it into and use it as overtime to cover these vacancies while we go through the civil service list and perform background and medical evaluations in order to hire replacement personnel.
And it looks like it's the same explanation for items 6 and 7 as well on this agenda. Is that correct?
That's correct.
All right. Any discussion from the committee? Questions? Any member of the legislature have any questions or comments? Any member of the public wishing to speak? All right, I'll make a motion to approve item number 5. Do I have a second? All in favor? Aye. Item number 6 is the same transfer, except it's for the month of January 2025. Any questions or comments about that? Anybody from the public? I'll make a motion to approve it. Do I have a second? All in favor? Aye. And number 7 is the same approval. It's the same approval for fund transfer, except for the month of March of 2025. Any questions or comments about that? Member of the public? I'll make a motion to approve it. Do I have a second? All in favor? Aye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Item number 8 is the approval of a budgetary amendment. It's funds from New York State Division of Criminal Justice Services to support estimated costs associated with discovery and pretrial reforms during fiscal year 2024 to 2025 to be used for merit increases. We have our district attorney with us here today. Welcome, Mr. Tendy.
Good evening. Thank you very much. I appreciate the time to hear us out here. These are requests. We have been reviewing our budget with Mike Lewis and Kevin Byrne and potentially getting ahead of things that are coming up. The issue of retention bonuses. It says merit bonus. A bonus is a bonus. It doesn't want to be cost. But as we're looking at our grant payments, it turns out that we wound up getting another increase in our aid to prosecution grant. Some of you may recall, it was only 3 years ago when the aid to prosecution grant was only $33,000. It's now $214,000. So what we want to do is take the costs for our overtime stipends and for the new Axon costs. Axon is a discovery platform which we have to pay for. We want to pay for those out of the aid to prosecution grant, which was just increased. So that will free up money that we thought we weren't going to have because of these additional expenses. That will free up money for us to give to non-union employees at my discretion as retention bonuses. It does not go into their salary. It does not go into the legacy costs. And most importantly, none of this money is coming out of any taxpayer dollars. So it's all from grants.
Anyone from the committee have any questions about this? Any member of the legislature have any questions or comments?
Is this a one-time, through the chair, sorry. Is this a one-time, is this gonna last over a period of time, or is this like for 1 year, and the next year you're gonna come back and do it again?
The DCJS grant every year permits us, and every DA's office does this, it permits us to give what are called retention bonuses to the staff, depending on whether or not I believe somebody deserves a retention bonus, and if so, how much. So this would be an annual bonus of sorts, well, not of sorts, it is an annual bonus, as a way of saying you're doing a lot of extra work, particularly because of discovery grants, and we want to retain you as an employee. The more experience you get, the more saleable you are, particularly in nearby district attorney's offices who pay a lot more than we do. I do appreciate and acknowledge the fact that last year you guys did raise salaries up quite a bit and made us more competitive. I do appreciate that. But we're still lagging quite a bit behind, especially when you go to Westchester and the Bronx. Their salary structure is way ahead of ours. So this is a means of saying we want to give you some extra money in acknowledgement of the extra work you've done, but we don't want to put it onto the taxpayer. And that's why the grants, in my opinion, that's one of the reasons that is one of the reasons why the grants have increased.
Go ahead.
I just want to, you stated in your statement that this is an improved use of the discovery funding,
Absolutely.
discovery grant.
Yes, sir.
So I just want to make that clear.
No question about it.
Yeah, you mentioned that this is yearly. So what happens next year?
Next year, I'll take a look at what the employees have done.
Mm-hmm.
Some may get increases, some may get minor increases, some may get gigantic increases, depending on what they've done. Well, not gigantic, it's gotta be within the structure of the
That's what I'm
bonus.
So the amount is different every year of the grant, is what I'm saying. So
It's dependent on when I review everybody's work each year, it's dependent on what I feel they deserve.
so the raise would be dependent also on the grant money, correct?
Yes, the grant money has only gone up, it's never gone down. And I don't expect it to go down because if you read the papers, the New York State Legislature is not going to do anything meaningful with regards to discovery grant, discovery reform. It's not gonna happen.
Okay.
Yeah, on that point, I do want to congratulate you and your team for weathering what has been a huge burden for our law enforcement and DA's offices throughout the state. This type of reform is needed, and your staff, I'm quite glad that you kept the staff that you had at your DA's office. I know was facing that, and we will certainly, of course, it's your call who gets this, and that's certainly appropriate. From a mechanical standpoint, though, from a budgetary standpoint, once those decisions are made, will we get, or at least the finance commissioner will get a line item as to where the actual dollars go into the actual?
I don't know if it goes to a line item or not, but I can find out from Mr. Lewis.
Yeah.
If you're talking about, can you get a list of what the increases were?
I'm not, again, that's your discretion, I defer to you on that, but just from a mechanical standpoint, it would have to go into, I imagine, somebody's personnel line.
Oh, I think I
Yeah.
understand what you're
Yes,
saying.
yes.
Maybe Christine, you can correct me, but I think this is the 999 one? Yes.
RPC, reported personnel change, will be filed, okay.
Yeah, thanks, Bob.
It's filed, and it's filed with personnel, okay. Because here, it doesn't have the actual personnel lines, and again, I'm not interested in second guessing or even weighing in on who you think should get it.
Right.
But just from a mechanical standpoint, I want to make sure that
That's
it'll.
how it would be done.
The
I
RPC
misunderstood you, I thought.
That was my fault. Thank you, Tom. Appreciate it.
the legislative crowd, you
I wanted to say thank you, one, but also two, add that if you don't use it by the end of the year, you lose it, correct?
We will lose.
Right, so it needs to be used and
And
giving
by the
the
way,
incentive.
Not only will we lose it, if we don't show the state that we're using it, our rent will decrease.
Yeah, so I just wanted to go over that. Thank you so much for all the hard work that you've done.
I just want to say I've been a proponent of bringing the salaries up. It's taken a few years, but I think we did a great job last year for the 25 budget. I support it. I know that these are, so we're basically going to allocate this funding, and then you're going to have the discretion to assign the bonuses to the individual employees.
Yes, just to be semantically correct, the funding is already allocated. You're going to permit us to pay for one group of payments from the ATP fund now. So that'll free up the money in DCJS to have us take the money from that for retention.
Okay, thanks for clarifying that. That's important. Legislator Elman.
Thank you, EA Tendy. I think this is a very good use, improved use of money. I think it's very important that you said it's a use it or lose it type of grant. So, and you've absolutely justified why this should be done. And like Chairman Yaki has said, we've given increases, but I believe that we really have to look at not just the salary. I think that there's an undue burden on DA's office in terms of the cost of the medical plan. And we have to keep in mind that all of our lawyers are paying, in my opinion, an inordinately high contribution for the medical. And that has to factor into the equation. So even though that they've got an increased compensation, they're paying out a lot more than neighboring counties are. So their quote net pay is really lower than what it appears.
Legislator Elman.
This is a little uncomfortable question, because I trust your judgment on your employees and where the grant money, where the bonuses should go, but is there some type of metric or evaluation used or some kind of system used for?
How many cigars I get for Christmas? That's very important.
just exactly.
No, actually there is, it's a good question.
It might come from personnel, it might,
No, there's, some of them are caseload, and case management, including investigations, supervisory responsibilities, depending on the level that they hold, various out-of-office responsibilities, which would be interagency responsibilities, working and interfacing with local, state, and federal agencies, whether or not you have efficiency in case assessment, case management, which means, for example, is this case going to the grand jury right away? If it is, why? How are we going to do it? When's it going to get there? How large your caseload is. Typical caseloads can be, your typical cases of junior ADAs are simpler cases, but they might have 175 of them, as opposed to 9 to 12 serious investigations. So all that, there's a lot of things that get measured in this. Your ability to problem solve, for example, whether or not we have one ADA, every time I say, we need somebody to cover this, she's like, I'm there, boss. That kind of stuff, team building, teamwork.
I saw that.
Yeah, there's a whole metric of it that goes into that. And it's not just invented by me, all the DAs office.
do they get cigars too?
Not if I can help it.
Thank you.
Sounds like the Tendy allocation method.
Nothing wrong with it.
No, we'll put our faith in that. And just the last word, I have spoken with some people who work in your office, and I don't think there's any way for any of us to ever understand how much work and how serious and important the work that your office does. So I'm a proponent of this, and I'd like to make a motion to move this item forward. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Item number 10 is the approval of budgetary amendment, Health Department, transfer. I'm sorry. Item number 9, I'll make a motion to approve the budgetary transfer to the DA's office. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Thank you. Item number 10 is the approval of budgetary amendment in the Health Department. Transfer of payroll and corresponding fringes from Health Department to the Health Department, to the Department of Public Works budget. I don't see Mr. Orr, but I see Mr. Eldridge, and we spoke about this earlier today. Mr. Eldridge?
I'm sorry.
Oh, This is the transfer from the health department to the Department of Public Works. You want to just talk a little bit about the fund transfer? We're moving a position, moving an employee from one department to another. It's just
This was as a result of a personnel issue that we needed to resolve, and we resolved it. It was an employee that needed to move from the health department to another department. This was the most appropriate assignment. And
his salary doesn't change.
salary is low.
His salary is lower. He's moving into a lower spot. Okay.
And there's an agreement signed by the whole parties. And it's confidential.
I don't think we need any, let's see if we need any more information. I don't think we do. Any member of the committee have any questions? Any member of the legislature have any question or comment? Any member of the public who can speak?
Totally off topic. Do we have to stay for protecting? I don't see us on the
Do
menu.
you have anything on the agenda?
I don't think so. We're good?
You're welcome to stay because
I'd love
these meetings are really
Cigars
directed.
after.
He's gonna watch it on the side. He's gonna watch it on the side.
We need the body.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good night.
And so any member of the public wish to speak on agenda item number 10? I'll make a motion to approve the budgetary amendment. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Item number 11 is the approval of the fund transfer for the health department. The environmental protection fund, environmental health aid. Mr. Eldridge, can you speak to this one? I don't see Mr. Ward here.
I'm reading it very quickly. This is a person that has been, I believe, one of our interns, and he's working on his Master's of Public Health degree. And so they want to move him and retain him, so they're putting him in, or requesting to put him into an environmental health aid position, so we can keep him until he achieves a higher degree.
The date of the original memorandum is August 30th, 2024.
Yeah, I would have thought that this would have gone to the budget in all honesty. I have to do a little research on it.
Sorry?
I have to do a little more research on it, because I'm not that sure where I have to be so far.
Michelle?
So this person, I believe, the step 2 was put in the budget, but the dollars didn't follow, so we're just now adding the money.
So this is like a bookkeeping. Okay. Any questions? Any questions for Michelle from the committee?
She's my assistant.
How about the legislature? Yes.
No, I'm first.
But the person's already is in that position, correct?
It seems he's there, and it was supposed to be funded, but it didn't catch the line, I guess.
Yeah, it should have been step 2, it was like, this is step 1.
Which I really appreciate, because I know they're very short-staffed there, and if we can do anything to boost that staff to capacity, it's one that directly affects our communities with inspections and people waiting for permits, and that really can hold up projects. So I'm really hopeful that, I know the health department's not here, but I'm sympathetic to the demands on them and hope that we can build up their staff.
Any other questions? Legislature? Anyone from the public? I'll make a motion to approve this fund transfer for the health department. Do I have a second? All in favor? Aye. Item number 12 is the approval of the fund transfer, Office for Senior Resources, revision to correct budget line to align with the grant. So we have our director, Marlene Barrett, with us. Good evening.
Yes, so upon further review, I
is something that came before you guys already. So upon further review, when the original budget transfer was done, the salary budget was transferred between the budget orders did not line up with the budgeted salary positions, so this budget transfer will correct that error from last time.
And there's no fiscal impact.
Nope, it's just switching positions to different budget orders.
Any questions from the committee?
What are you changing again?
So these are just positions that are changing their org. So what happened was we changed them last time, but the salary budget numbers were not correct. So this actually puts them where they're supposed to be. So these are drivers and our nutrition site manager.
Bottom line is the same.
Correct, exactly. Just bookkeeping, moving people to where they're supposed to be.
Montgomery.
If I may, while you're here, and I don't know if you get to say this, just thank you for your work. We don't always get to see Marlene at the meetings, and just had a direct contact today for someone in need, and the response was immediate, and they're on their way to getting services, so thank you.
Anyone else from the legislature? Any member of the public wishing to speak? All right, with that, I'm going to make a motion to approve the fund transfer. Do I have a second? All in favor? Aye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Item number 13 is an FYI, it's your accident report, please review it. Item number 14 is an FYI, your incident report, please review it. We don't have any other business, so I'll make a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second? All in favor? Aye. This is Protective, everybody. Good evening and welcome to the Protective Service Committee meeting of April 8th, 2025. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Legislator Review,
Present.
Legislator Birmingham,
Here.
and Chairman Young.
Present. Item number 3 is the acceptance of Protective Service meeting minutes of February 13, 2025. I'll make a motion to accept. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Aye. Item number 4 is the approval of a budgetary amendment for the Sheriff's Office. It's revenue received from Century Arms, Inc. to fund other equipment in education and training. Sheriff and Undersheriff, welcome again.
Good evening. Pursuant to New York State law, penal law, section 450, we are required to destroy weapons that have been in our possession for longer than 1 year. So we've destroyed 307 weapons, and we still have more that will eventually be destroyed. And as part of that, we recovered $9,000 from the company that does the construction. With that, we want to take $4,000 and put that into the Division of Criminal Justice Services fingerprint bank that we're required to maintain for applicants, for fiscal permit applicants. And the remaining $5,000 will go back into narcotics in the education and training budget line from where we originally moved $5,000 in order to maintain the fingerprint monies, funds. That make sense?
No, I'm curious, so you give them a bunch of firearms that
New York State law
that
says.
you have to dispose of,
That's
and they give you a check for, what do they melt it down, or?
That's correct. They shred them, and then they melt them down. They sell the steel for whatever they want.
That's amazing. Any questions of the committee?
Why are they destroyed? Are they useful or are they?
There's some that are nuisance weapons,
Okay.
and others that have been left with us and nobody's reclaimed them. And when they drop them off, they sign them, we'll pick them up in the year, if not, we don't start.
We made an effort we made an effort to contact people, see if they wanted to come back and pick the weapons up, and we got no response.
Are they used in crime ever or?
Some of them can be. Yeah, that we would require from the district attorney bank a letter for destruction.
Anyone else from the committee? Let's say, Raleigh.
I just have a question. Do you guys still auction off any of the older guns that are, is that still a thing? We don't do that at all anymore? The historic and antique guns used to be an auction that they would do. Not the illegal ones.
Any questions? Anyone from the public? I'll make a motion to approve this budgetary amendment. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Item number 5, Sheriff, is also you. It's budgetary amendment, reimbursement from New York Municipal Insurance. What's going on with this one?
We recovered over $18,000 from an individual who struck one of our units, and this money will be used to repair the vehicle. So, fairly new.
Okay.
2 years old.
Any questions from the committee? Members of the legislature wishing to speak? Questions? Member of the public wishing to speak? I'll make a motion to approve this budgetary amendment. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Sheriff and Undersheriff.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Item number 6 is an FYI. It's the Bureau of Emergency Services. Fiscal year 2022 Technical Rescue and Urban Search and Rescue Grant Program. I know that Commissioner Lipton couldn't be here, but Mr. Cuomo is here.
Yes.
Can you just help us through this one?
Sure, yeah, I'm not actually working on the grant itself, so I'm only giving you the information about it. And that is that, we partner with Westchester, that's part of the Westchester Technical Rescue Team. And, they're responsible for taking care of things like high-risk rescues, like structural collapses, and confined spaces, and high stress and stuff like that. And this grant is a $100,000 grant. There's no matching involved, so it's all, we don't have to contribute anything to it. And it's going to be used for funding for equipment and training for the team, things like ropes and harnesses and other equipment that's going to be used to conduct rescues like that.
Okay. I know the request is in, it looks like FY 2022, taking as fiscal year 2022. It says it in the grant application. It's a little confusing, but it's in the grant application.
Yeah.
Any questions from the committee? Comments? Any member of the legislature? Legislator Allen? Evening, Mr. Como.
My question is, what's Putnam's percentage of the $100,000?
That I don't actually have an answer to, you can back to you, or you have to ask about it, I just know it's $100,000 grant.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Any member of the public with a question or comment? It's an FYI, so we'll move on to the next item, item number 7. This is also an FYI, Bureau of Emergency Services. It's a cybersecurity grant program. Looks like something along the same lines.
Right, and this is to help support our IT department with cybersecurity efforts for like any equipment that needs to be bought or any training, perhaps software that would help us, as far as cybersecurity is concerned. From what I understand, I know it's an IT thing, but according to Bob Lipton, the grant applications come from us.
You know how much the grant is for?
For $50,000.
$50,000. Any questions from the committee?
Chris, comment?
Legislator Crowley?
There isn't a match on this, right? It's a
No match.
single-
No, same as no match.
Any other members of the legislature? Questions or comments? Anyone from the public? Okay, thank you. Bob, this is an FYI.
Thanks.
Item number 8 is also an FYI. It's our 2025 coroner cases report. We reviewed that. Item number 9 is other business. We don't have any other business. I'll make a motion to adjourn in a second. All in favor? Aye. Good night.
There is a couple of confidential things that we protected, so this or personnel, personnel.
Just